Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Star Fox 64 playthrough. Today it's the beginning of the end as we start the hard route, and we start it with, once again, Coneria. Now the only reason I'm showing Coneria again is pretty much the same thing I did with Meteor last part. I'm just kind of going on it to show you where the secret route is, pretty much. Never going to get sick of this intro ever. Now, during this part, I actually want to talk a lot more about the soundtrack. I kind of briefly mentioned it before, but I want to go really in depth now about what it is I like about it. The simple answer is, everybody knows that MIDI was used a lot during the N64 days and stuff like that. Obviously, you kind of had to because of the format of the cartridge, obviously. But I just think, okay, comparing this to the remake on the 3DS. On the 3DS version, I don't like the way that music sounds. Like, there's no punch to it. It's very... That again, I'm pretty sure that was MIDI as well, but like, it's like there's kind of an edge to the MIDI files in this game that gives it kind of a punch and a load of energy. I mean, like, if you listen to Corneria's music, it's just so much like... I don't know, the snare drum and everything that it's pretending to be has kind of got a lot of edge to it. And if you compare it to the one that's used in the remake, I don't know. I think I don't like the remake soundtrack. I know it's exactly the same, but it's just the sound of it is bad. I mean, Nintendo has made better soundtrack remakes. Like Wind Waker HD has got a really great remade soundtrack. So what you have to do the route, basically, to get to Sector Y from Coneria, you have to save Falco like I just did there. I tend to do that a lot anyway, just because I don't know. I like Falco. I like saving him. He's cool. And so what you have to do next is, so you save Falco. Then you see these archers. You have to fly under every single one of them pretty much flawlessly. Like, even if you kind of hit it, I think, and then go under it, doesn't count. As in, like, you have to kind of go under it and not run into the sides of them at all. Now, as you said. Well, as I said, rather, in my review, I don't really get why this triggers Falco to kind of go, oh, let's not go this way, let's go this way. I don't know. That to me, that's a bit weird. Like, it's a bit too out there for a secret route, I guess. But like, he'll take you through the waterfall, like you just saw there, and to the secret path. I think if you go on this path, you can't really get them. I've never got a medal on Coneria from what I can remember. So like I don't know if I could recommend this route to getting the medal, I guess. Now this bit here is a huge homage to the SNES game. Oh, just as a note on the graphics there, I love the fact that the O-wings reflected in the ocean there. The closer you get to it, the more clearly defined the reflection is. I love that effect. I don't really know any N64 game that has that kind of effect. I mean, like, that's, for me personally, I don't think that's an effect that would see use until the GameCube days, so that's really impressive. Yeah, this is a huge homage to the original first boss from the SNES game. I have trouble saying that really quickly. So what you want to do for this boss is, when the hatch is open, just shoot it. That's all you got to do, really. And like everything else in this playthrough, hyper lasers kind of make a big joke out of it, really. This is an incredibly easy boss, so all you got to do now is just shoot it to death, pretty much. If you're fast enough, I'm pretty sure you can destroy it before it even moves away from you. Hell yeah. Well, we already have at this point, but I see what you're getting at. We'll never truly defeat Andros until we do the hard route anyway. So that's the last time we'll be seeing Coneria, and yeah, just final thoughts on that level. I really enjoyed it. Coneria is a great opening level, like I said before, but I'd say go the hard route. It's just more. It's more kind of. It feels more like more of a victory. Peppy, you have to keep bringing up Dad. It's weird. Star Fox as a story isn't about character development, but something I really like about the story of the hard route is Falco. I think Falco has a small character arc where he starts to respect you the more you go through it. I don't know if it's just me being overly observant or just like being maybe reading too deep into it. But I like if it isn't just me and anyone else can notice it, that's pretty cool. It's a nice little piece of writing. So here we go, Sector Y. It's one of 2 levels in the game that has those little explosion effects, and the reason that is because this is where all the Cornerian forces are actually.
I'm on my way.
This is where they're fighting Andross's forces. You don't really. I can't really apart from no. It's Coneria. You have it. Katana, and Sector Y, from what I can remember. Now this is a cool level. This has some like a couple of my favourite enemies. We'll see them more in a second. There you go. These little Gundam robot things. I think they're really, really cool. They remind me a lot of like I said, Gundam, or the Nightmare frames from Code Geass. Now, like I said, when we were doing Solar, this music track was remixed in Assault as the Scargesso Space Hideout's music. Like I said, I'm sorry if I'm just repeating things. But like I thought in that I thought for ages that it was Zonus's music, not Sector Y's and Solar's. I don't know why I thought that Zonus's music track is nothing like this. Now this is one of the most action-packed stages in the entire game. This is also one of my favourites. I just love the music. I love the kind of the space battleground thing. I mean, like I think for Star Fox, space battleground stuff is awesome usually. Like Assault's first level is probably one of the best levels in that entire game. And like Area 6 we'll be seeing in a few parts is obviously amazing. It's just an incredible level. Now, to get to the mission accomplished, to get to Oquus from this level, what you have to do is get over 100 hit points. As you can see on the screen now, it's not really that hard if you just use charge shots and just kind of take out huge groups of enemies at once. But if you kind of like mess up a bit, it can kind of catch you off guard a little bit, like if you don't really know what what the thing is. So what I would recommend is just, like I said, just using charge shots really. And there are actually little indicators in the level whether you're actually close to getting the mission accomplished. I don't know if it's going to come up in a second. It might come up in a second. Actually, there's bits of dialogue that indicate whether you're doing well. Like if I don't know what the exact amount you have to get to before the dialogue. Basically, there's a point in the level where Peppy will say you're doing really well, and so that means you're en route to kind of get the mission accomplished. But if you're not really doing that well, then Falco will just kind of just say you need to do better, basically. And if you get nearer the end of the level, the bit when Fox says we're going to break through that fleet, if you have less than 90 points, Falco will just say, "Oh, was that the best you can do?" basically, in a really kind of like dejected way. And again, that kind of adds to that thing of he's starting to respect you after Coneria a bit, and then he just kind of dejected that you're not doing well. That kind of just lends credence to that theory I just made up a minute ago. But if you're doing really well by that point, then Fox will say, you know, you're a better pilot and all of that, you know, like he usually says. Yeah, the different coloured Gundam robot nightmare frame things. I don't know if there's an actual name for these robots. They're robot suits. I don't know if there are actually.
We're gonna break through that fleet.
There you go, that line there. In a minute, you're going to hear Peppy say something. There you go. That's an indicator that I've already gone over it now, but that's the indicator that you're doing well. Now, Sector Y is kind of unique in the of all the planets in Star Fox 64, because it's not even a planet, the levels I mean, because it keeps its original colour and original name from this game, so all the way to Command. A lot of the levels either changed colour or like had their names changed and stuff like that, but this is probably one of the only ones to keep consistency really. However, in the remake, the Y shape is dark blue, not green, and is actually surrounded by blue and orange gas. I think that's a really superfluous, silly change. That's something that about the remake I don't understand why they make those little changes. Now this is a really awesome boss. Like you're just shooting these two little robots, and it's really easy to kind of take care of them, I guess. But it's kind of unique. It's probably the only boss where you have to fight 2 of them at once, and then another one after this. And of course, I think you have to have at least 90 points, and you'll be all right to get the mission accomplished. Really. Now, like, if you're wondering where I'm getting all this information from, I just want to plug something quickly. The Star Fox Wiki. I've been using this for a lot of the information I've been for both my review and for this playthrough, and it's one of the best wikis that I've ever seen next to the Kung Fu Panda one. Like, just to show you how kind of dedicated the people are that make that wiki, they have written down the particle density and the magnetic flux of each individual level, and that, to me, that's an incredible level of like research to go just for a Star Fox game. And if you're interested, go check it out. It's really great. Just if you're interested, the particle density for Sector Y was -45 C/SG, and for the magnetic flux it was -38%. That's a cool sight, all the Cornerian fleet behind us. Oh, Falco's respect is can only move up. So overall, I really like those first 2 levels. Sector Y is, like I said, one of my favourites. Has great music, has great like graphics, has great like basically everything, great action and everything. And Coneria, I've said this so many times, but I love Coneria as a level. So next time we'll be going to Aquos, and we'll be continuing the hard route. So I'll see you next time in the Star Fox 64 playthrough.